Scott, guess what? Guess what, Scott?
What?
Guess what?
What? What, Darby?
My
What?
Christmas
What?
my Christmas tree's up.
What? No, no, no. One more time. What? What?
What? What?
Feel like Stone Cold.
I don't know that reference. I know Stone Cold, but I don't know what you're talking
He
about.
had a thing where he used to cut people off and say what.
Oh.
And now, like 10, 15 years after he retired, people in the crowd are still saying what every once in a while.
Yeah, I got my Christmas tree's up.
You're the worst kind of person.
Yes, I am. I put it up out of convenience, but I kind of like it. And then I have a
How
pine
the
scented
fuck is
candle
your
going.
Christmas tree up and you're moving tomorrow?
I'm not moving. I'm just working there. I keep
You're
this
not going to be
place.
with your tree.
No. But I took all my Halloween stuff down, and I had to put it somewhere, so I put it where the Christmas stuff was. So now my tree is up. It's not decorated. Well, no, it has one ornament. Perhaps you saw
Your
it.
Darby ornament.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a
So-
tree somewhere. I just moved last weekend, so I don't know where half
How'd
my
that-
shit is right now.
How'd that go? Do you like your place?
I did more stairs last weekend than I've done in the last couple years.
That's not a bad thing. So you're on the second floor then?
Yeah, second floor. I had been living ground floor for like the last 5 years.
You lived subground for at least for a little while.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I had a quote unquote garden level apartment, which is just you're halfway underground.
Yeah.
It made the heating bill super cheap because you were insulated down there.
I bet it would. Heating and cooling. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My the place now, it leaks like a fucking sieve. It's awful. My windows are gone and shit. Well, not gone, but they're really old.
Yeah, this place has some shitty old windows in it too.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how much it costs to heat this place this winter.
Yeah. How's Zena like it?
She's digging it.
She's
I
slobbering
can't
every
just
time she comes
throw her in the
upstairs.
backyard anymore.
Oh,
So
okay.
every morning I got to take an extra 10 minutes to let her out
So stairs
before I
and
could
exercise.
just throw her in the backyard and then finish getting ready.
Yeah. Stairs and exercise. That's great. Good for you.
Okay.
So this is the Higher Minds podcast.
It is. I'm Scott.
I'm Papa Darby. We didn't talk all over each other that time.
We didn't.
That was awesome. It's like we coordinated it. So
We've been doing this for months now. You'd think we'd have a better grasp on that.
a whole 7 months. 7? 8 almost?
Give or take. Yeah.
No, not even. Well,
We started planning this after New Year's. I don't know when we recorded our first episode.
we're how long
Probably
did it,
March.
how long did it take to actually plan it before we started?
We were working on this for about a month before we actually started recording. Month and a half, probably.
Yeah, we had to figure out how to start.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I vaguely remember. It seems so long ago.
You were still living in Colorado when we started this shit, weren't you?
No, I was living in Kansas.
Or were you just visiting?
I was visiting.
You were just visiting then?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No, I haven't lived in Colorado since 18. 18.
Okay.
End of 18. Or beginning of 18, yeah. Or 17.
Okay.
Fuck, I don't remember. I don't know. It's been a while since
You
I-
move around a lot.
Yeah, I do. So, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about your recent trip to the Stanley Hotel.
And the Stanley in general, yeah.
The inspiration for the Overlook Hotel from The Shining.
Ooh. Yeah. I have a story about Stephen King. I don't know if you got a chance to look that up, but yeah, it's pretty cool. His story alone is pretty cool about how it came about. So
I know a little bit on it. I haven't had time to get internet yet, so my research on this is going to be pretty Spartan.
are you still internetless?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm hoping tomorrow we can get around to getting it bought and paid for and hooked up and all that good shit.
Cool. Yeah, I got mine changed over yesterday. And now my kids have TV boxes, which I've never paid for fucking cable in my life. I'm almost 40. Never paid for it in my life. I'm fucking paying for cable now. I'm like my grandparents.
Who the fuck has cable?
Well, I mean, it's a package that comes with the internet, and you need internet. I mean, you can't do shit without it.
Right. Yeah, all you need is internet. You don't need cable anymore.
Yeah, and then I like to have HBO and shit. And now that they have the apps, I can just get the package on TV or on the cable, get the traveling apps, and I can watch it anywhere now. Which HBO has some great shows. Have you gotten a chance at all?
I haven't watched regular TV in probably
Well,
5-6 years.
okay, but you watch Game of Thrones?
Nope.
You've never seen a one.
Do you not remember me making fun of you and H&K for all your nerd shit back in the day?
Back in the day, it was like last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, of course I remember that. Now I do. You would like it though. I swear to God.
I honestly can't tell you what the last broadcast TV show I watched was.
Cheers.
It might have been Sons of Anarchy, and that's been off the air for 10 years.
Did you
probably.
watch Breaking Bad? Yeah.
Breaking Bad?
no.
No.
I think that was about the same
Nope.
time. I think Sons of Anarchy ended maybe a season after, or some shit like that.
Because I gave up on The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I haven't seen.
Too. It's probably been a good 5, 6, maybe 7 years since
Yeah,
I've seen
I haven't seen the
Walking
last
Dead.
4 seasons. I hear it's still good.
Yeah. I remember the last episode I saw was when Glenn fell off the dumpster.
Yeah.
That was the very
You
last
know
episode
what
I
happened,
saw.
right?
Oh, eventually he got his face kicked in with the
His
baseball
entire
bat or
head.
some shit.
Yeah, his eye popped out and shit. It was pretty cool. Pretty gruesome.
I saw the makeup from it online, but I didn't see the
So
episode.
speaking of gruesome, I wanted to tell you this kind of story that I had from my stay at the Stanley. So you know how I'm never socially awkward, right? Like I'm always saying the right things and I never say anything weird.
Oh, yeah.
So-
yeah. You're fucking completely normal.
So the room that we were staying in, we stayed in room 413. And it's situated such that it's looking down a hallway when you open the door. So like when you open the door, you're not looking across the hall, you're looking down the hall. So
Okay.
at one point we were downstairs in the cafe area, and there was a guy talking to one of the employees saying there's somebody passed out upstairs. And my daughter and I were like, "Oh wow, that's kind of crazy." We didn't think much of it, you know. It was late. I figured they were drunk or something. And so we make our way up to our room. Turns out they're down the hall from us, like off to the side, like in a little corner type thing that you can't really clearly see from where we are. And there's a bunch of people gathered around.
Okay.
So everybody.
Does this end in the Stanley has a new ghost?
Well, I'll tell you now. No. Turns out they were fine. It was a woman who was just passed out drunk. So our original assumption was right. But
That sounds
well,
fun.
let me tell you what happened.
What had happened was
So there's a bunch of people standing around, and eventually some guy with, I don't know if he actually had medical training. Maybe he was just some weirdo who wanted to touch her, but he appeared to have some medical training. Who went up to her. In fact, now thinking back, I think he was just some guy that wanted to touch her, because he went up to her and said, "Oh my God, she's not breathing," and everybody gasps. And as you know, it was we went there for my daughter's birthday, and so I'm like, "Oh my God!" So
Right.
Everybody get here. I'm like, "Oh my God."
best birthday ever.
And then I turned to my daughter and I'm like, "Happy birthday." So everybody can hear me. Oh man, everybody turned at me, and we just went into the room. So yeah. Happy birthday. She was fine.
So how'd your daughter enjoy it?
Oh, she liked it. She loved it. It was a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Thank you very much for picking us up. Scott here was a good friend and picked us up, and my daughter and I. Well, my daughter doesn't appreciate much, but she appreciates as much as she possibly can. I assure you, and I appreciate it very much. They're
She is way too talkative.
she said what 3 words on the hour-long car trip.
I think she said what and thank you.
It's because I said say thank you. So yeah.
Yeah, she sat in the back seat with her headphones on, staring at her phone the entire time.
It's not
Typical
yeah,
teenager.
It's hard to pry her away, but we did for a little bit, and it was fun. We had a good time. You've been up to Estes Park,
Good.
right? Several
Me?
times.
Yeah, I've been up there plenty of
We
times.
went to. Do you know?
Yeah, it's right up the
Yeah.
canyon from
You went to, have you ever been to Peppers up there?
Which one is Peppers?
The
Is it a
burrito
restaurant up there or
place.
something?
Yeah, the it has the rooftop seating, so you can look out on into the mountains.
No, I don't think I've been to that one.
Okay.
There's another Mexican joint up there that sits right on the river that's pretty decent.
Okay, no, it's not that one. It's the one right next to the Egg and I.
Okay, yeah, I know where you're at.
Yeah,
No, I've
We
never
were
been there, though.
it's my favorite restaurant up there. I had an elk burger. It was awful.
I like elk burgers. Not as good as a bison burger, but still good.
Yeah. Oh,
There is the world's highest tiki bar up there, too.
quote unquote highest.
We stopped up there for a drink one time, and we're sitting on the patio next to the river and everything, and it's nice. And I'm like, I wonder if this is like the highest tiki bar in the world. So I just Googled highest tiki bar in the world, and it redirects straight to their website. And I was like, yep, I guess that.
Nice.
It's like
Nice.
11,000 feet or some shit like that.
Yeah, it was hard to fucking breathe up there. That sucked. Like just going up and
Yeah,
down
you
from the parking
flatlanders.
lot. Oh yeah, I miss the mountains so much. Just for that, I'd like to be able to breathe when I'm walking around.
There's a really good jerky store up there too. That sounds
there's
like a stupid thing to comment on, but yeah, it's really good jerky.
there's a couple, right? Or is it that big, like old rustic looking one? I think I remember like it's like in the middle of a plaza. Okay.
It's right on like Main Street or whatever, but it's set on a corner.
But it's like wood
I had
paneling.
a kangaroo beef stick from there.
How was it?
It was decent. Tasted like meat.
Like meat. Awesome.
Yeah. I don't know how you would describe kangaroo taste. It's definitely not beef, but it's
Is it chicken?
marsupial-ish.
It tasted like it had a pouch.
Yeah.
Uh, so I have to tell you, give a little disclaimer. I went on a tour of the Stanley, and when I was on the tour, they told me that I could not video or audio record because the information was proprietary. So I need to let everybody know that I am risking life and limb in order to disseminate this information to everybody. So you're getting it here. Nobody else knows about this except for the staff. And
So Darby is leaking information to the world.
call me Wiki Darby.
Yeah. Next, you're going to be living in an embassy overseas somewhere.
Maybe, or maybe I'll just get depressed all of a sudden.
Fucking 2 gunshots to the back of the head. Worst case suicide I've ever seen.
I think I'll just use a knife to my back, or an axe or something, you know. So the Stanley was built by a man named F.O. Stanley. He might have had a first and middle name, but I don't know. We call him F.O. in this. That's how he's referred to everywhere else. So if you really want to know,
Faux Stanley.
well, if you really want to know, you can look it up. But his brother's name was F.E. Stanley. And that might have been his full name, like F.O., but, I don't know. So for the purposes of telling them apart, I'm going to call F.O. Flopper and F.E. Flepper. Flopper and Flepper.
Why not just Stanley?
Because they're both involved in what happens with it, or how it's built.
Right.
So I have to be able to tell them apart. So anyway, the Stanley was built by Flopper Stanley. So he and his brother, who was a college dropout, what ended up happening there was that he was doing very well in school. And at one point, he was asked to draw a map of the Union at that time, and he did it almost perfectly. His teacher accused him of
Was this the Teamsters, or what union was this?
the U.S., the United States of America. So yeah, he just they asked him to draw a picture of all the members of the Teamsters Union, and he did it from memory.
That's what I expected.
No. The U.S. And he did it perfectly. His teacher accused him of cheating because of how perfectly it was done. But it ends up that he just had a photographic memory and was able to do it. So that was Flipper that dropped out. He ended up making his his fortune in the picture industry. He eventually sold it to, I think, Kodak. Like like today, it's known as Kodak or one of the big companies. But
Kodak's been bought and sold a couple times too. Kodak isn't even Kodak anymore.
Right. But what happened, what he did, how he got his fortune was he developed a way to develop pictures faster. In fact, he was the one that went from people needing to stand for 45 minutes daguerreotypes to instantaneous pictures. And that took a couple of steps, and it had to do with silver nitrate and shit.
So this would have been early on in the film.
Yes, very early on. We're talking
not the silver, what was it, silver nitride or some shit like that is what they used to do them out of? Their actual
and
plates.
He got another solution which did it instantaneously, and then he got another mechanism to do it or faster, and then he got another mechanism to do it instantaneously. But he just demonstrated this by taking a picture of himself jumping over a puddle, which is just as interesting as somebody taking pictures of their food.
So he was the first Instagram teenager.
He was.
Okay.
Hashtag dad.
Somebody else I know acts like an Instagram teenager too.
I don't think you...
Filters on every photo he takes.
I bet that person has long, luscious hair.
Collages and whatnot.
I bet that person is 4 or 5.
A middle-aged guy with a podcast and a couple kids.
He sounds kind of awesome.
See, I was thinking more douchey, but okay.
He sounds like he gets the kids, and he's tapped in, and he knows what the fuck is going on with them.
He's hip and happening.
I think so. That's the kind of guy he sounds like. So that was his brother. That was Flopper's brother, Flepper. But Flopper ended up, or eventually developed TB and was given about 3 months to live. At the time, the best treatment that the doctors had was elevation. So he ended up going to Denver, which at the time was, and I didn't get the fucking years. I don't know. I didn't get the fucking years, but it doesn't matter. Turn of this is 1800s, like late 1800s.
Yeah.
Early 19th century, or sorry, 20th century, early 20th century. So he went to Denver, but at the time it was a silver and gold mining town, and so the air quality was very, very shitty. In fact, 30% of the population, because of the air quality, had developed tuberculosis. With less
so much for that elevation helping.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so you got another variation there, but yeah, you're right. I mean, yeah. But with 3 months left to live, he dedicated his life to living life for the experience of solely living. He just wanted to, enjoy life. So he went out to Estes Park with his wife. He took up the hobbies of hunting, fishing, canoeing, and hiking. And then
That's the perfect spot to do it in.
Oh, it really is. Especially back then when there was
elk everywhere up there.
3 people there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So expecting to hear bad news from the wife of Flopper, from the regular letter that he usually got, Flepper was surprised to discover that Flopper had made a full recovery and was completely devoid of TB. It turns out that elevation really helped. Well, the healthy lifestyle, he was eating everything he killed and harvested. They were living in a little shack.
Yeah, all fresh food.
Yeah.
Working to get it, hiking and everything.
The sun, the vitamin D. I know the quality of life out there is much better than anywhere else I've ever been, and I attribute that to partially to the elevation. A lot of it's the weed too.
Yeah. Yeah. There is something to be said about fresh mountain air.
There really is.
You get up out of the suburbs and everything up in the mountains a little bit, and
You just
I don't know, it just smells better. It feels better.
as soon as I cross that Colorado border, I mean, I'm sure it's psychosomatic a little bit, but as soon as I cross that border, I just feel better.
Eastern Colorado doesn't do anything for me.
Well,
It's just flat.
you
And
do
brown.
live in the Front Range.
Looks
It's upgraded Kansas, is what it is.
basically, yeah. It's Kansas
Yeah,
with legal weed.
yeah, that's exactly what it is. But upon hearing this, Flepper took his entire brood to visit. This became a tradition, with more and more wealthy people coming to visit each year. This begat the need for more lodging, which begat the Stanley Hotel. I think I want to say 1917. That might be wrong.
For the
Yeah.
Stanley? When it
Yeah.
was built? I was thinking 1913, so somewhere
Yeah,
around there
19
somewhere.
teens.
Pre-1920. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
You and your noisy ass paper. It's 2019. Use a laptop.
So if I do that though, if I'm fucking around with the shit, it fucks up with the recording. Like it skips a whole lot. I noticed. So I try to use my manipulate the computer as little as I can. Besides, I like fucking paper. It
'Cause you're
makes me
old.
feel like Walter Cronkite. Who?
And that's the way the cookie crumbles.
There you go. That guy.
Pretty sure that was
I
Bruce
like
Almighty,
to-
but
Well, he was imitating Walter Cronkite. You fucking millennial.
okay, boomer.
But
I love that that's making the rounds now. I've been shitting on
I
baby
know.
boomers for fucking years, and the internet's finally caught up with me.
yeah, I'm waiting till my kid call me boomer. I'm like, what the fuck? My grandparents weren't even fucking boomers.
No. Your grandparents would have been before boomers.
No, boomers
Your
are older.
parents
Well,
would have been boomers.
no. Boomers are after World War II.
Yeah, boomers are like born
My
in the
mom
late
was-
40s through the early 60s.
No. It's earlier than that. Because my mom was born in 58. Boomers are older than
So
her.
she's a boomer. No,
she's not a boomer.
She was born in 58.
No. To the interwebs.
I don't
And
have
I'll let
internet.
Oh fuck. I guess we're gonna let this one simmer.
Email us. Tell Darby he's wrong.
Yes. Go ahead.
Also, he's still waiting on those Quaalude emails. So
Yeah, I'm not. Wink, not wink.
So the first time I went to the Stanley, I found it completely by accident.
Oh really? Yeah,
We were down in
how Stephen King did.
Lyons, Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
There's an old-timey soda shop down there, and we were checking that out. And decided to go for a drive in the mountains and got lost as shit. Ended up in some little town, pulled into a McDonald's, figured out what the hell I was. And I looked over, I'm like, that looks like that haunted hotel I've seen on TV. So I fucking Googled it real quick, and I'm like, sure enough, that is that haunted hotel I've seen on TV. So we drove over there, not knowing that you can get into it. We were just going to go look at it. You can walk right into the ground floor of the Stanley and
Yeah,
check shit out.
there's a ground floor in the basement.
They had it was about Christmas time, and they had some little kids ballet thing going on there that was free to the public. So we sat there and watched some kids do ballet and ate cookies and shit and hung out in a haunted hotel for a little bit.
That's not doing creepy shit at a creepy place. Okay, cool.
That was a decent first date in my book.
Oh, was that a date?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, cool.
I guess I didn't say that at the beginning of
No,
that story.
you didn't. But that is. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Colorado's a nice place to have nice dates.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit to do.
It really is. I was never bored there.
Mm-hmm. The Stanley is also the same Stanley that did the Stanley steamer cars and later vacuums.
Okay. I mean, I saw that around and stuff, and I didn't. I could have looked it up, and I didn't. But yeah. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. Was that
We
flopper or
wandered around that
flupper?
hotel for probably a good 30 minutes. They got a one of their steamer cars sitting in the lobby. At least they used to.
No, they do. Yeah. Huh.
Do
Yeah.
they? Is it still
Yeah.
there?
I didn't know that's what that was.
It's been probably a year since I've been up there. Yeah.
I thought it was just weird old
Yeah,
creepy
that's
shit.
what dawned on me that's how. No, no, it's the Stanley steamer cars. That's the same Stanley that made the hotel.
Cool. Cool. I believe his wife designed it. It was her idea.
The hotel
Yeah,
itself.
she wanted to house people. And yeah.
It's a beautiful
It
hotel,
is.
inside and out.
Um
Did you notice the belt-driven ceiling fans
no, I didn't.
where the gift shop is downstairs? If you look up, there's a big-ass ceiling fan in there, and it's a belt-driven ceiling fan.
No, I didn't see that. That's kind of cool.
It's fucking cool and steampunk and badass.
That is cool. What the fuck was I going to say? I forgot. I forget. Whatever. That part I could cut out.
So when did Stephen King get to the Stanley?
So
that was like 74-ish,
I
right?
want to say 74.
I'm running off of memory.
And honestly, I wrote this down from memory too. Both the Stanley story and the Stephen King story from the tour guide. You can see the tour guide in this picture that I have. I'll tell you about it at the end of this part. But yeah, I want to say 74. So much like you, Stephen King and his wife found it by accident as well. So while traveling with his wife through the area, they needed a place for the night. It was kind of late. And they were extremely tired, and she told him to find the first hotel with their lights turned on. Turns out that was the Stanley. So at the time, in the mid-70s, it was much more desolate. The town was not as popular as it is now. It was the last night of the season, and the employees, because of that, were boarding up the hotel for the winter. It was necessary. This was necessary, and it was necessary to have seasons on and off season because they didn't have any heating or anything, and they weren't able to accommodate guests throughout the winter. They didn't have any like road services or anything either. This was
Yeah, some of those roads are still almost impassable in the wintertime.
I got a fucking 2-wheel drive fucking rental when I was up there, and that was scary as shit. I didn't like it snowed.
How was the weather up there? Because it was cold here when you were there. It was cold on the front.
We
range,
got
at
a
least.
storm. We got a foot at least. Yeah, we
Really?
got fucking hammered.
Damn, we just had a dusting down here. That's a difference another 4,000 or 5,000 feet of elevation makes, I guess.
Yeah, what you're at 5, right? And that's 11.
Yeah, right about 5. Yeah, 10,
Yeah,
11 up there.
So
Between 10 and 12.
yeah, it was pretty bad. Anyway, so yeah, it was scary. What should have been about an hour drive to the airport ended up being 3 hours. Yeah,
Shit.
and I was going slow as shit.
The first time I was up there, I had my Audi, and I almost got stuck in trying to fucking turn around in a driveway, so
Yeah.
it takes a hell of a lot of snow to stick an Audi.
Yeah, it does. Well, yeah.
I went through shit deeper than the bumper in that car, and it just
You did
fucking
what?
tanked. I've gone through snow deeper than the bumper on that car, and it just tanked right through it.
Oh, the first time I ever drove a 4-wheel drive was in Colorado in the snow. It's awesome. It's just like it cuts through like butter. It's really fucking cool. Just so anybody who has never driven a 4-wheel drive, fucking try it through the snow. It's cool.
Wait till you find rocks and mud. That's way more fun than snow.
Well, see, okay. Do you remember that was your 4Runner that I had? I would have done that, but it wasn't mine. I don't think I was paying for insurance at that time either.
Always get the insurance on a rental car.
I do now.
I used to work in rental cars, and I've seen so many people get fucked by not getting the insurance. Always get the insurance.
Yeah.
That
It was
$50
it terrified
or
me every
whatever
time
it
I
is. Yeah, just go for it.
Yeah. So anyway, it was impassable. It was it was the end of the season, and it was in the season because it gets impassable. So this was told to King by the front desk person and he was told that there were no rooms available. But after the insistence of King, who was in a writing slump at the time, he was told he could have the room under the condition that he was cool with being the only guest in the hotel, to which he agreed.
Who wouldn't be okay with that? No kids running up and down the hallways and shit. Who wouldn't be okay with being the only guest in a hotel?
Well, and it was also being boarded up. Like, it looked like ran down at the time. Like, and it wasn't as well kept as it is today either. So
I'm sure it's not, because now it's like a tourist destination.
Yeah. There's a ton of money keeping it up now. But anyway, I would be cool with that. That'd be cool as shit. I would love that. I think my daughter would love that too. But a lot of people wouldn't. A lot of people would be creeped the fuck out by it because it was a creepy looking place at the time. So you were right. Do you remember? I think it was the last episode or episode before or something. You said that King was a pretty bad alcoholic, or you said that he was an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
Further research says that yes, he was. He was a horrible alcoholic, or a good alcoholic.
Point for me.
Yay. Is that a good alcoholic or a bad alcoholic? Which? I mean, if you're an incredible alcoholic, but for being an alcoholic, like if the goal is to be an alcoholic, is that a good alcoholic or a bad alcoholic?
I would say if your goal is to be an alcoholic, you'd want to be a good alcoholic.
So then the worse off you are, the better an alcoholic you're being. So that's a good alcoholic.
I guess so. There are functioning alcoholics and alcoholics that can't get their shit together and end up on the street. So I don't know which one of those is the good one and which one's the bad one if you're trying to be an alcoholic.
That sounds like in that direction, that's a good alcoholic. If your title is alcoholic, they're fucking killing it, right?
I guess so.
So yeah. Stephen King was a good alcoholic because of this. Oh, but he's decades sober now, so he's totally sobered up.
Is he sober?
Yeah.
Okay.
For a long time now. Like shortly after this, in fact, I think. So after his wife
went, still look like he touches kids? I haven't seen Stephen King recently.
Mr. King
he used to look like a child molester.
If you hear this, I love you and your work, and I'm sure you are anything but a child molester. But yes, Scott, yes, he still does.
I think it's the glasses.
No, it's not just the glasses. No, it's in his DNA. Like the look, that is. Just the look. I mean, sorry, Mr. King. I'm a very big fan. Damn.
But you look like you diddle kids.
He's never going to come on this show.
Has Stephen King ever been cited with Jeffrey Epstein? Can we tie those episodes together here?
Everybody has been cited with Jeffrey Epstein. Like, that motherfucker was friends with everybody. Like, he was crazy.
Stephen King for sure knows somebody who has been friends with Epstein. Yes. He's high enough up in the celebrity and has been a celebrity long enough that
yes,
he for sure has, like, at most 2 degrees of separation.
I wonder if I wonder if Epstein ever inspired anything. I'm sure some fucked up shit happened.
Like that scene in It?
Yeah.
The book, not the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
For those who haven't read the book or know what we're talking about, there's a, how would you describe that?
Child orgy scene?
Gangbang?
Gangbang, yeah.
Yeah, they left that part out of the movies.
That'd be hard to watch. I'm not sure I could watch that.
I haven't seen the newest It. The part 2.
The first one was better.
See, and I still like Tim Curry the best, so.
If he could do it, yeah, he.
Granted, that's a made-for-TV movie, so it's not as graphic or anything, but I like Tim Curry's portrayal best.
Oh, if Tim Curry could have done it, oh yeah, it would have been fucking awesome.
He's sad looking recently. He had a stroke.
He's dead, isn't he?
Years ago. Is he dead now?
I'd say to the interwebs, but
man, I wish I had internet.
It'll fuck up my call or fuck up my recording. So, we'll guess. Yeah, he's dead. No, he's not. Maybe simultaneously.
let's record this both ways. That way we can cut it in after the fact.
That sounds awful. um. Anyway, so what were we talking about? Fucking Stephen King. Oh yeah, so he was an alcoholic. He was a good alcoholic. Because of this, after his wife went to bed, he went down to see the bartender. He slipped the bartender a 20 and asked what he could get for it. And this is where the line, "Your money is no good here, sir," came to be. But the reason that it...
Had they already packed up the liquor? Is that why?
Not the liquor. They packed up the books. So if he sold him something else, they would have to redo the books for the entire season.
Okay.
But the owner or the bartender got out a bottle and they started drinking together, and they were telling stories together until late in the night. So the bartender his name is pretty well known. I forget what it is. I want to say Leonard something, but Leroy, an L name maybe. I don't know. People know his name. It's easy to look up.
Nothing but the best here, folks.
But in the movie, he split into two characters, which is the bartender and the groundskeeper. In real life, it was one person.
Okay. And that's the book or the movie or both? Because the book and the movie are very different from each other.
The movie, that is. Yeah.
Okay.
I never read the book. That's one of the books from Stephen King I didn't read.
I can't read Stephen King.
Really?
I've tried to read like 3 different books, and I can't get into them. I don't like his style.
Really?
I like Stephen King movies, but I don't like his books.
Really? Oh, okay. I do. I can't get into them. I read most of them. Not this one, though.
Yeah, my dad read like everything up through probably the early 90s, I bet.
My favorite is probably either the Tommyknockers or Salem's Lot.
Both of them are good movies.
Yeah.
What's
my
your
favorite movie? Or a book?
Yeah. Either or. Both. Since
Book, probably 13 to Midnight, but that's a cop-out because it's a book of short stories. Or 12 to Midnight, or something like that. I forget what it is. It's the story with the cowboy, the interdimensional cowboy one, that movie that just came out with Idris Elba.
I have no idea what you're talking about. But
anyway,
interdimensional cowboy movie sounds good.
It is good. It is good. You should. I'll send you the link. It's pretty good. The fuck was where were? Oh, favorite. Oh, favorite. Okay, so the book. Favorite movie. I have to say.
I should have asked this before you hit that ball.
I know. Probably. Before It, I really like the retelling of the first chapter of It. But before that, probably The Stand.
Okay. See, I'm going with The Shining as far as favorite movie goes. Which is kind of biased because I'm kind of a Stanley Kubrick fan too. So, but that's a quality movie.
King hated it. It was
Jack Nicholson. Oh yeah, King despised the movie, but I think Jack Nicholson's performance in that might be like one of the best performances ever.
I can't think of anything he's more...
He is very believable as a crazy guy.
Yeah. It's the eyes at the forehead.
Well, that one and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and the Joker and Tim Burton's Batman. Like, he does crazy very well.
You're right. I didn't put those together. You're right.
What was... Analyze This? Wasn't that him too?
No, that was De Niro. And
okay.
Harry from When Harry Met Sally. Billy Crystal.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Anyway, so once King was thoroughly trashed from talking to the bartender and getting drunk, he stumbled around the hotel trying to find his room, which it was, do you remember? Same room that Jack Torrance
he was in 217.
He stayed in 217 that night. I'll tell you other stories about, well, I'll tell you now. Apparently, there was an accident that happened there. There was a woman that was in the accident, didn't die from the accident, but ended up working until she was 91 there, even after the accident, and she hurt herself. Apparently, she still haunts the room and fucks with people, including Jim Carrey. There's a weird Jim Carrey story from Dumb and Dumber from it.
Yeah, because that's the same hotel that they
Yeah.
filmed Dumb and
You
Dumber.
know how long
at.
Jim Carrey's...
So if you've seen Dumb and Dumber, you've seen the real
Yeah.
Stanley.
Um,
The Overlook Hotel from the Shining
that
movie
was
is
a
not the
soundstage.
Stanley. That's a different hotel.
pretty sure.
Well, the exteriors of it, I mean.
Oh, yeah. But Jim Carrey ended up staying in 217 in his stay for 3 hours. Apparently, he ran out in his boxers, didn't want to return to the room, and got another hotel. They refunded his money, and he won't talk about it to this day.
Whole different hotel,
Yeah.
not just a different
He was
room.
that fucked up. But apparently, it was this ghost is.
He got fingered by a
Maybe.
ghost.
You won't talk about it. He's ashamed.
Running out in the middle of the
Maybe-
night in his boxers.
Maybe he was forced
Won't
to
go
suck
back.
from some
He got
ghost
raped
cock.
by a ghost.
Maybe he liked it.
Maybe that's really what he was afraid of.
I love ghosts. Yeah, he's never going to come on the show either.
I'm still keeping my fingers crossed on Betty White.
I would love to have Betty White.
Throw back to like
Yeah.
episode 2.
Yeah, that was after 1, wasn't it? Do you remember we used to record 2 episodes at a time that back
I don't
then?
know.
Wow, that was rough.
Mm-hmm. And there was a clear drop in quality from the first one to the second one.
Yeah.
It turns out like 11 o'clock at night is too late to start
It
this
is,
shit.
but you know, playing video games and getting stoned is real fun too. Before, when he found his room, outside of his room was situated a like protruding fire plug with a hose attached to it. And for some reason, he creeped him out, and he couldn't get out of his mind as he was falling asleep, and he ended up having a horrible nightmare. So he woke up to his son screaming, being chased down the hall by the fire hose, which was aggressively wrapping itself around the boy like a boa constrictor. So King is standing there, unable to move or speak or otherwise free his son from the hose that was squeezing the life out of him. At that point, King woke up. He sat up in a cold sweat, realized his boy was back in Boston or some shit like that. He wasn't with him, and he ended up realizing that he had the beginning, middle, and end of The Shining in his head, fully formed in his head. So his slump was over, and he was healed, just like.
And then I think the book came out in 76, 78, something like that, if I remember right. And Kubrick started work on the film in 79. So it was very quick turnaround on book to movie on that one.
The book he is apparently a deconstruction of himself and his drinking problem and his descent into alcoholism. And that's kind of that's why he hated the movie, because in the movie Jack Torrance is just a crazy bad guy. And that's not.
Well, he was
that's
a recovering
not what
alcoholic
happened.
in that as well. In the book,
He was, but
the character had been sober like 18 months or something like that, where in the movie he had been sober like 5 months.
Yeah, but it's not a major plot point in the movie. Like, it's not a part of the personality in the movie. It just ends
not
up
too
being.
much. He does go down to that bar
Yeah.
a few times during the movie, though.
You can't. I mean, the bar is pretty prominent. It's pretty cool. We went down to the bar. In fact, the tour guide showed us some pictures from the bar. In the bar and in the adjacent room, she showed us pictures of disembodied reflections. In the bar area, in the mirror, there was a picture of a disembodied child, or an image of a disembodied child. It was a reflection of it, but nobody there to make the reflection. Same type of thing of a woman in like old-timey dress. There was a reflection of her in a window and no body there.
Where did you take the photo at that you sent me? Do you want to bring that up now?
Yeah. Let's talk about that now. So, I took a bunch of pictures, um, and I didn't see anything when I was there. I didn't feel anything. I didn't see anything. Nothing was weird. The most exciting thing was that girl passed out down the hall.
That's kind of disappointing.
Well, I mean, it was fun. We went on the tour and shit. I mean, we both had a good time, and it was gorgeous.
And you'd
I don't know
even
if you saw the
upgraded to
pictures,
one of the
but
more haunted rooms, right?
specifically, we yes, there are 7 spirited rooms that you can get, and I had a book months ago, and I did, and I got room 413, which I'll tell you about more specifically after this. But yeah, so I took a bunch of pictures. Of course, I'm trying to catch, catch ghosts and whatnot. We did some EVP, and nothing happened. Didn't see anything. Didn't feel anything. We were supposed to see something in our room. Nothing. Didn't see anything. So the other day, I'm going through my pictures, and I see this one picture, and I have the original picture, and then I have it slightly zoomed in, and then I have it slightly zoomed in to a disembodied reflection of somebody. Now that picture was taken in a conference room. So as you're standing outside of the hotel in the curved driveway area, just right out front.
In the front of it.
Yeah, not the first floor, but the second floor. There's a balcony there, and that window is a conference room. We were standing there.
Okay.
And so I took a picture from the interior wall to the exterior window, and I assure you there was nobody in the balcony, because I did actually look. There was nobody there. Not because I took the picture, I just looked because I wanted to see what the view was. So I didn't notice that reflection or anything when I first took the picture, or anybody there or anything. So upon looking at it, I see that there was a reflection. And so as of this recording, as of this airing, this posting, I will have posted it a couple of days prior so you can take a look at it. But yeah, that's the explanation for that picture.
And then I had spotted a different face in the window that you hadn't initially spotted either.
Yeah.
It looked like a female face in that one.
Yeah. Did I send you the original to that?
I believe so. I know you sent me the one where you had all 3 of them cut together.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot that you did see that. That's kind of crazy. So, we want to hear what you guys think about it. You guys, as in the listeners. I'm not talking to Scott and Zena. Although I want to hear what they think though.
And you're going to throw this on, what, Facebook, Instagram, both?
Yeah, I'm going to put it everywhere. It's going to be our picture. I'll put the logo somewhere. But it'll be our YouTube picture too.
Okay. Yeah, it is kind of creepy.
Yeah.
I think it could easily be a reflection or whatever, but it could not also.
Yeah.
I'm kind of skeptical and shit.
Yeah. I've showed it to a couple of people. Everybody says it's creeped out. I showed my daughter, who was there with me, standing right next to me, and she was like, "Oh my god." So yeah, it is creepy. So I show my daughter it later, and she was weirded by it.
Did she see or hear or feel anything? You said you didn't.
No, and I asked her too. In fact, I still haven't analyzed it, and I really want to. The EVP thing, she's sitting there laughing at me through the whole thing.
Of course she is.
Yeah. But no, she said she didn't see anything, feel anything, or hear anything. In fact, did you see the picture of her standing up in the room and I'm down outside?
Yeah, at the very top window. Yeah.
Yeah, like she wasn't creeped out at all.
She's into spooky shit though, isn't she?
Yeah, she is.
Did you guys go to the Mansfield Reformatory or just talk about going to the Mansfield Reformatory?
No, she's too young. It's an adult
Is that
thing.
what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it was. Because I looked into it.
Closer to home for her and everything too.
Yeah. And you suggested that, and yeah, that's where the video Alive from Godsmack was filmed.
That's where the Shawshank Redemption was filmed too.
Stephen King.
That was another King one. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yep.
That's a fucking killer movie, too.
It really is. You know what? No, I stand with my favorite movies. Although I really like The Green Mile and The Shawshank too.
Green Mile was a good one.
No.
Anything with Tom Hanks is decent.
Stand By Me was really good.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Stand By Me has, like, the most depressing, like, where they ended up in life at the end of the movie thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, and like even real life. Like
the one guy got stabbed in the throat while trying to break up a fight in a fast food restaurant or some shit.
One of them is on fucking The Big Bang Theory.
Who ended up on The Big Bang Theory?
Will Wheaton.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't recognize him as a kid.
So he's not going to go on the show either. That was a shot at Will Wheaton. Sorry, Mr. Wheaton. He's doing better than I am. Well, I don't know about
Johnny
that. He's on The Big Bang Theory. Huh? Johnny
Galecki can come on.
Yeah, we like him.
David from Roseanne.
Yeah. He's looked that age since the fucking 80s.
Right? He hasn't fucking aged at all.
It's crazy. I bet he hates that. He's got like a Webster syndrome.
Have you seen the picture of Keanu and his new girlfriend?
I have.
She's like a couple years younger, I guess, but looks way older, which just goes to further the rumor that Keanu's an immortal vampire or whatever. Have you seen the old-timey photo or the old-timey painting that looks just like him too?
Yeah, I have. He's fucking... There's probably some painting of him deteriorating somewhere. His face is deteriorating in the painting.
Ghostbuster style? He's
No,
just gonna
that's
come to power through the painting.
No, that's Gray. What's his name? Oh fuck. Adrian Gray. Oh fuck. It's an old movie.
Oh, from
old story.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yes, he was in that, but that story's older than that. Fuck.
Everybody shits on that movie. I didn't think it was that bad.
It's fun. I mean, it's not. They fuck up the characters, yes, sure, but that doesn't mean. I mean, everybody fucks up the characters. Nobody's ever happy with it, so it's fun. It's fun.
Speaking of fucking up characters, let's get back on topic here.
Oh,
about how Stephen King hated Stanley Kubrick's adaptation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot different between the book and the movie.
Go ahead. You probably know it better than I.
See, and I don't know the book as much as I know the movie.
I can't really remember it either.
But like in the book,
the movie the book I didn't read.
Hotel burns down, where in the movie it freezes up. Jack Torrance was originally John, I think, or Joe or something like that in the book. They changed the first name some.
I didn't know that.
Like you said, he was supposed to be more of an alcoholic than what he was portrayed in the movie. And he degraded slower in the book than he did the movie too. He kind of starts out a little crazy in the movie.
Yeah. I think that's the main thing. The character development wasn't there in the movie.
Well, then I guess, what was the woman? Wendy? I want to say? Mrs.
Olive
Torrance.
Oil.
She was a more stronger character in the book than she was in the movie, too. She was kind of worthless in the movie.
Yeah. Have you seen... And it's kind of crazy that we ended up planning this with the sequel coming out, and I ended up going at the same time that the sequel came out. But have you read or seen or done anything with Dr. Sleep?
Who?
The new movie that came out, the sequel to The Shining?
I had no idea there was a sequel to The Shining. No, I had no idea.
Yeah.
This is all new information to me.
Really? Yeah.
Yes.
Stephen King wrote a sequel to The Shining. It's called Dr. Sleep. It's Jack Torrance's son, grown up.
Danny.
Coming back. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Danny Torrance.
Yeah. So, it's in the movie theaters now. I'd like to check it out. You should.
Does Tony come back? That was a terrible Danny Torrance impression, but
No,
his
that was
little
good. That was good.
imaginary.
Yeah.
The listeners can't see us doing the finger thing from the.
I'm fingering you. And Jim Carrey didn't like that. He doesn't like that shit.
That was another thing that changed. In the book, he could see Tony, and in the movie, Tony was his little finger guy that wiggled when he talked.
Oh, yeah, but that's Kubrick's brilliance. How do you, before like modern filmmaking, what's an efficient way of portraying that, a split personality?
Yeah, but this is Stanley Kubrick. This is the guy that made 2001: A Space Odyssey. Like, if anybody was going to figure it out, it was going to be him.
I suppose, and he did. I mean, he did.
He's notorious for being a perfectionist, to the point that he kind of drove Shelley Duvall insane while filming The Shining.
Yeah,
The
I haven't
scene
heard
where Jack is chasing her up the steps,
Mm-hmm.
and she has the baseball bat, and she's trying to fend him off, whatever. They shot that something like 130 times or some shit.
God damn. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, because Kubrick was such a perfectionist. He wanted her, like, legit in real life, frazzled and stressed out and everything, so that it would come through in the performance.
So he went in intending not to use the first take, or the first 100 takes.
Yeah, probably. I would be surprised if the cameras were even rolling on the first 50. The scenes where Jack is chopping on the doors, instead of using like fake movie doors or whatever, he had them made out of solid wood so that he would actually have to chop through with the axe to make it more realistic.
It works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kubrick was a fucking mastermind.
So the 7 rooms that are considered quote unquote spirited are rooms 401, 407, 413, 418, 428, 217, and 1302. And
That was another one that changed too. Originally, it was 217 was the room. Kubrick changed it to 237
I thought it was 217
in the movie.
In the movie.
In the movie, it's 237.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
Because that's part of the whole Stanley Kubrick conspiracy theory that The Shining is him admitting to filming and faking the moon landing. Because 237 million miles, thousand, I don't know what the fuck it is supposed to be like the distance from the Earth to the moon, but it's not. So they thought he changed it from 217 to 237 to make that connection. Are you familiar with that theory?
no, not that particular one.
No.
I know this the
No?
the
Oh.
filming theory, but not one.
Yeah. Yeah, they think that The Shining is Kubrick admitting to faking the moon landing.
Huh. Interesting. Okay. Well,
He kind of is. Because he had filmed 2001: A Space Odyssey like 2 years before the moon landing. So if anybody was going to make a legit-looking fake film, it was going to be him, as far as space shit goes.
sure. I am not a. I don't think that it was faked. I believe that it happened. So there's 2 sides to that one.
I think there's evidence to point either direction. So
Actually, I have seen some of the evidence, the conspiracy evidence, and it honestly is compelling.
some of it, yeah.
Honestly, I never really even looked into it too much. But anyway, the hotel, if you book a spirited room, they give you this list, this paper with descriptions of what other guests have seen in the room. So I'm going to read you off what are in the different rooms. So
Start with the one that you stayed in.
So the one I stayed in, okay. I stayed in room 413. Take 2. I stayed in room 413.
Little cottonmouth.
Yeah. So several guests have reported seeing a man dressed in old-fashioned clothes standing in the corner of the room. The face of a man in a blue ball has also been seen on the outside door of the room. Now, the first night that we were there, while we were both kind of drifting off to sleep, the closet door did rattle, like it was open when we first got in, when we first got there. So I closed it and I latched it, and it did rattle for a few seconds. But I don't think either one of us thought anything of it. And then there was banging on the wall too. I filmed that. That was
Yeah, you said that was an exterior wall too, right?
Well, so if you look at the picture, it was the wall. It was an exterior wall, yes, but it was facing inward in the hotel, so there is nothing on the other side of the wall.
Okay.
So in room 401, a male ghost who some believe to be Lord Dunraven. That's another story. Lord Dunraven, the true life story of Lord Dunraven is really interesting.
Who the hell is he?
So he's this tycoon villainy type guy who tried to buy up all of Estes Park for his own private hunting grounds.
It would make a hell of a hunting ground, so.
Fuck yeah,
Can't
it
blame
would.
him.
Oh no, fuck yeah, it would. But it wouldn't have been public, and nobody would have been there. So, some believe is Lord Dunraven is reported to be in this room. Although he never visited the hotel in life, it was built 20 years after he left Estes Park. It was built on the land he once owned. In the closet, women feel their hair being played with, an arm around their shoulder or waist, or a hand moving up the back of their leg. Woo. Men don't feel particularly welcome in this room sometimes, as they have felt someone is pressing them into bed or their jewelry disappearing. This was the room where Jason of the Ghost Hunters television show and his drinking glass, or had his drinking glass, which was set on the nightstand, implode while he was sleeping. The closet door also opened and closed on its own.
I remember seeing that episode.
I never did.
I used to watch that show back in the day.
I've seen it.
I remember that
I don't
one.
remember that one at all. I tried to stay away from that stuff regarding the Stanley this time, just so I wouldn't be influenced.
But at the same time, that can give you clues what to keep your eye open for, too.
Yeah. Well, this paper kind of did, and I still didn't. I'm named the Ghost Milton. Still didn't come.
Yeah.
So in room 407, people have reported being tucked in this room. A little boy said that he kept kicking his covers off, and they kept coming back up throughout the night. His mother was quite shocked and said that she hadn't woken during the night and certainly didn't keep covering him. Another guest reported feeling someone sit on the edge of the bed, but when she turned the lights on, no one was there. She did, however, see an indentation as if somebody had just gotten up.
That ghost was way friendlier than the other ghost.
Yeah, there's this one.
Tucking kids in and not groping people.
There's this one I'll tell you about in a second. I'll tell you now. In room 428, really friendly. A ghost cowboy tends to frequent this room. A couple of few years back awoke to find a Wild West cowboy pacing at the end of their bed. After watching him for a few minutes, they politely asked him to leave, which he did, but not before leaning over the lady as if kissing her. Female guests sometimes wake to find him leaning in for a kiss on the forehead. So that's friendly. In room 418, ghosts do mischievous things in this room. Covers are sometimes removed during the night, and hangers are known to move on their own. Bathroom lights have also been reported to turn on and off on their own. A little girl about 4 years old and her mother stayed in there a few years ago. The following morning, the girl reported being tickled by a little boy during the night. Ew. She wasn't afraid, though. Instead, she simply told the little boy to stop, and he did. In 217, many housekeeping...
The Stephen King
room. Many housekeeping events happen in this room. Guests have reported returning to their room after dropping off their bags and finding their luggage has been unpacked for them. Other guests have also reported their shoes being lined up neatly in the end of the bed. Shadows have also been reported... Shadows have also been reported passing through walls, as this room was once part of a much larger suite until the mid-2000s. So, there was a room, it was a larger room, put up a wall, the ghosts are still using it as the original room. In room 1302, a male ghost has been seen as a shadow in this room walking near the walls. Photos have been known to fly off the walls, and Grant from Ghost Hunters had a table levitate while changing film. Them's the stories.
And Stephen King didn't see anything in his room. He just had the nightmare, right?
That's all that I heard was reported, yes.
Okay.
And Jim Carrey had the...
And his room has probably been split into at least 2, it sounds like, by now.
Yes. Actually...
If 217 is smaller than
3.
It used to be.
It used to be the presidential
3?
suite.
Oh, okay.
So
they fucking hooked him up for the night.
Yeah, I mean, it was the last room.
They didn't just get him a run-of-the-mill room.
Yeah, it was the room, yeah. It's situated on the corner of the... excuse me. On the corner of the hotel. So where... the whole wraparound corner on the first floor, where you saw the picture of my daughter, the first floor under there, and then did you see the pictures of the room?
I think so.
Okay, so if there were 2 more rooms connected to that one on each side, a room on each side of the room, then that's what it is. So yeah. Oh, and the view from that room would have been spectacular. It'd have been the best view.
There's not really a bad view in Estes Park.
Yeah, no. Once you hit the front range, it's not really bad.
They're right in the middle of the mountains.
Unless it's cloudy.
Yeah, the front range, as long as you look west, you're good.
Yeah.
Up there, it's all around you.
Yeah. But yeah.
Did you guys get over to Rocky Mountain National Park while you're up there?
No, we didn't really have time.
That's like right down the road.
We did go into Old Town for a little while. Picked up some souvenirs.
Old Town Fort Collins or Old Town Estes Park?
Fort Collins. Is there an Old Town Estes Park?
I don't know. There's that little Main Street area with all the shops and shit.
I'm at Fort Collins, but we did actually go to the one in Estes Park too. By the taffy, all those taffy areas or taffy shops.
Mm-hmm.
Elk Burger at Penelope's. Yeah.
Did your daughter get one too? Or is she
No.
not as adventurous?
No, she got corn dogs. Yeah. Anyway.
Fucking corn dogs.
Yeah. Yeah. She wanted to go to Subway. I was like, you're in fucking Colorado and you want to go to Subway? Okay.
You can have Subway anywhere.
Anywhere. Yeah. But joke's on me because that Elk Burger fucking sucked. I really did not like it.
I don't know. I've had them before. I thought they were decent.
I'd prefer to eat
Like I said, not as good as a bison burger, I don't think. But
they had a bison burger there that was available. I should have done that. But I've had a bison burger
Have you ever had one?
Yeah. And I really
okay.
couldn't tell the difference between it and meat and beef. From what I remember.
It's just a leaner cut, I think.
But I mean, it tastes pretty much the same, right? From what I remember. It's been years.
I can't imagine cows and bison are too far removed from each other.
They're both bovine, aren't they?
I would believe so. If I had internet, I'd look this up.
Giraffes are bovine. So a giraffe would taste like a cow.
Are they?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're fucking with me if you're serious.
No,
right
I'm
now.
serious. Yeah, no, it's true. Scientific fact. I promise. Well, I don't know how they taste.
So yeah, then a giraffe, I would assume, would taste a lot like a cow.
I'd eat a giraffe. There's the only thing.
What would neck meat taste like?
You haven't eaten neck meat? I've eaten neck meat. I grew up in the ghetto. There's not many animals I wouldn't eat. I wouldn't eat anything that's humanoid, like monkeys and shit. That's about it. I'd eat about anything else.
I think if it were like in nugget form or something like that, I'd eat like a chimp nugget.
If I knew,
I wouldn't eat like a chimp leg the way I would eat a chicken leg, though.
Or like chimp hand. Yeah, that'd be weird, right? If I knew, I don't think I would.
I think it's India, maybe somewhere in that region. They used to do you eat their brain while they're still alive shit.
Yeah, yeah.
You ever see that? They got holes in the table. They stick the monkey head up through and cut the top of its skull off and eat it alive.
That's what they did in Temple of Doom. You remember that scene?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And actually, I've seen it like on I think Faces of Death too. Do you remember that series?
I actually have a Faces of Death DVD.
I saw a little bit once. I don't need to see it again. I'm good. I like horror
Yeah.
movies. I don't need that shit. But I did see that on there.
I didn't pay for it. I was given it, but
I mean,
it's hard to watch.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if you're into horror, like I think you should at least once. But once you've seen
That's
it,
as real as it's gonna get.
yeah. Once you've seen it though, you don't need to see it again. Whatever. Not whatever. It's fucked up. But yeah. Anyway, so that's what I got on the
I
Stanley.
used to watch all that shit online. The fucking beheading videos and the Pain Olympics and Faces of Death shit and
I did. Did you see the Nick Berg video? The first guy that got his head chopped off by Al Qaeda, the first contractor, and like the first one they televised.
probably.
Yeah,
I don't know any of their names. Probably.
the only reason I remember that is because that's the first time I've ever seen like a real beheading, and yeah, and it was big news at the time. But it was about 2001, 2002. It had to have been 2002, 2003 actually, because it was after 9/11.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think the invasion started till early 2002,
I
right?
believe so. Yeah, the actual formal invasion, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it happened, September, towards the end of the year.
Yeah. And it took probably a good month or so to start the first strikes. I don't know.
I forget exactly.
I'm completely talking up my ass right now.
I mean, there was an immediate response, but it wasn't like the invasion that ended up happening. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, the invasion that ended up happening.
Right.
So yeah, this was fun. I like doing this one, but it's because I got to go to Colorado.
Yeah, it's cool. You got to go
Yeah.
there. I had been there, but I never stayed there.
Yeah. If you do book it in advance,
I've been in the Stanley 2-3
it's
times.
like
Oh, yeah.
a third of the price. But I mean, like 7
They do a
months.
Halloween thing. At least last couple years they have, where it's like a big masquerade ball,
Yeah,
and I think that'd be a lot of fun.
it was the
But tickets are like $150 a
Oh, are
piece
they?
or some shit like that, and I'm not paying that to fucking go to a Halloween
Yeah.
party.
it was the weekend before we were there. This time,
Oh, was it the weekend
Yeah.
before? Okay.
but they
Yeah, it looks
they
cool.
did have like a seance person and stuff.
I can't drop that kind of coin on that though.
No, for a party. No.
The seance person won there? Normally she's downstairs.
She was in the floor level ballroom, or one of them.
Okay.
The one off to the left as you walk in, not the ones to the right that are always quartered off.
All right. Yeah.
Next to the bar. That's his.
I don't know. I like that place.
It is cool.
It's cool.
It is cool. It's hard to walk around.
Spooky. Cool architecture. Yeah, you Flatlanders.
Yeah. Anyway, so we got anything else?
I think that wraps up what I had.
Yep, me too.
I was just running off memory on this one. You don't realize how much you use the internet until you don't have internet.
I know. I mean, everything's on the internet. You getting it soon?
Hopefully tomorrow I'll have it.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Cool.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so this has been the Higher Minds podcast. So thank
It
you for
has.
listening. Where can you listen to us?
We are just about everywhere, I guess. Coworkers said they found us on something that I didn't even know we were fucking on, so
What,
apparently shit is spreading somehow.
Well, we got tons of views. Well, not tons. People have more views than that, but for us, we got tons of views on YouTube. Like,
Why is
we
that?
were shocked.
Just that one is fucking blowing up.
No, I don't know, but that's fucking cool. I don't, maybe
People
some
like
will, some of the
alien
other
shit, I
ones.
guess.
I like alien shit. We can talk about aliens.
Yeah, that one episode is fucking blown up on us.
Thank you, everybody. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I mean, everything else is doing all right too. We've got more and more listens all the time. So yeah. So I guess you can hear us everywhere.
I guess so.
YouTube,
We're for
SoundCloud,
sure
Stitcher.
on. Yeah, we're for sure on YouTube, SoundCloud, Stitcher, iTunes. Seems like I'm forgetting one. I don't know.
Yeah. We're on highmindspodcast.com.
Yeah, highermindspodcast.com.
You can talk to us
You can interact with us on Facebook, Instagram, Gmail, highermindspodcast at gmail.com.
Yeah. Highmindspodcast at gmail.com? Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is that not it?
Yeah, it is. I was, marketing. That's what I was doing right there.
No, you're just a little too stoned.
I'm stoned.
What are you smoking
Anyway.
on? We never got to that.
It's fucking Ohio street weed. I don't fucking know. Something.
It's
good though. I'm nice and stoned. It's an indica, I think.
Pre-roll here. What the fuck is this one?
What is that?
Jungle Refinery.
Jungle Refinery?
Yeah.
That sounds
it's a
racist.
Pre-roll. 17.74% THC.
That's low for you.
No CBDs.
It's low for you. How's the terpenes on that? Smell good?
I don't know. This one's an indica, so it's a different. I've been trying to get into indicas lately.
Trying to?
I don't get it.
You don't get it?
Sativas are way more fun.
I
I don't get it. Like, what's the point?
Weed to put you to sleep? I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know.
I prefer sativas. Anyway, thank you everybody very much for listening. I'm Papa Darby.
I'm Scott.
Deuces.
Deuces, everybody.